I'll find that.
Hey guys, it's Old Man G here, back again with another podcast of Red Devil Studio live. I'm joined today solely with Team Takage 1, and we've just got a few things to discuss with you. It's not going to be an amazingly long show, but there are obviously a few key things that have basically happened just during the week. The big news in particular is the man that you see in front of us, and that is Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka has probably been the headline of this week, to be honest. He's actually, we're going to read a statement from Xhaka in a second and now. But actually, I'm joined with Team Takage 1. And for those who are new to this channel, please like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio and follow us on Twitter at WeAreUnitedX. So without further ado, the first topic, obviously, as you can see, is this man you can see is Granit Xhaka. Now, I'm sure everyone is aware, but just a brief recap. Granit Xhaka, Arsenal playing, obviously, Crystal Palace on Monday, was it? I can't remember. And Arsenal basically threw a 2-0 lead. Was it Sunday, was it? Yeah, Sunday, sorry. They threw a 2-0 lead. And Xhaka was in the process of being substituted. From the events that we can sort of see, he was being booed. As he was walking off, he started to gesture to the crowd, cupped his ears. I think the crowd booed further, given how long it was taking him to come off. And then as he was coming off, I think he basically swore to the fans, and then obviously took his shirt and possibly threw the shirt off, etc. So that obviously made a lot of people angry. A lot of the Arsenal fans went to meltdown, strip him of the captaincy, get him away, etc. And a lot of fans were notably angry with the situation. You know, they pay, they travel, etc., and they feel that what Xhaka did was disrespectful to the fan base. So we're basically going to. I've got obviously Team Takage 1 is obviously an Arsenal fan. So sorry, my cough. So we're obviously going to have 2 points of view well, not 2 points of view, but he'll obviously give us his perspective on Manchester United. Sorry, on Arsenal and their and whether they did the right thing or not. So before we actually go into that, I want to actually quickly read, because basically this is essentially breaking. Because essentially, just as probably about an hour ago, Granit Xhaka basically posted a statement on his Instagram, and I'll just read it out now, where basically he says something the following. He says this: after taking some time to reflect on what happened on Sunday afternoon, I would like to give you an explanation rather than just a quick response. The scenes that took place around my substitution have moved me deeply. I love this club and always give 100% on and off the pitch. My feelings of not being understood by fans and repeated abusive comments at matches and in social media over the last weeks and months have hurt me deeply. People have said things like, "We will break your legs, kill your wife, and wish that your daughter gets cancer." That has stirred me up, and I reached boiling point when I felt the rejection in the stadium on Sunday. In a situation, I let myself be carried away and reacted in a way that disrespected the group of fans that support our club, our team, and myself with positive energy. That has not been my intention, and I'm sorry if that's what people thought. My wish is that we get back to a place of mutual respect, remembering why we fell in love with this game in the first place. Let's move forward positively together. Granit. So that's his statement. So Team Takage 1, I mean, what do you think? What do you think?
Football fans are probably some of the worst sport fans in the world. I know some of the sports, sometimes American football, I've heard the Philadelphia Eagles have pretty tasteless fans, but I think football is a sort of major sport, probably have the worst fans in the world. I mean, you see the racial abuse very often. You don't really hear about that in other major sports. NBA, do you ever hear about fans getting racially abused? American football, do you ever hear about fans getting racially abused? Baseball, right? So, for the fact that Xhaka is being abused like this, obviously that there are trolls on social media, but the way that Xhaka is saying this is as if it's been said more than once and repeatedly to him. His newborn daughter's just been born, um, and I mean, it's only you only really follow your favorite players, right, or your club players. So these must be Arsenal fans who are saying these kinds of things. And for you to go and abuse someone's family, it's pretty low. So if those are Arsenal fans, who should be Arsenal fans who should be apologising. Xhaka's not really apologised here, and he doesn't really have to. He hasn't really done anything wrong. He does play well. I mean, he does give 100% when he comes on. He doesn't blame other people. He doesn't, he's not walking and things like that. The problem here is it's an accumulation thing. So it's pretty much the fans' frustration that results in Emery. So you blame Mustafi, and Mustafi, apart from against Liverpool, he was one of our best players this season in Europa League and Carabao Cup. He's had how many clean sheets? He's played very well, arguably better than Holding. We blamed Ozil last year for this, and this. So Arsenal are always looking for someone to blame. I do agree that.
Sorry about this.
I do agree that Emery is the problem because Xhaka's played next to Torreira and Guendouzi, and it's been fine. Xhaka's played next to Ozil and Torreira, it's been fine. And now Xhaka's playing that deeper role, and it doesn't work. He's not that type of player. He's not a defensive midfield player. He can't play that role. He's not quick enough. He's a guy who links play. He switches the play, lobs the ball forward, gives it to the strikers, or has long shots, things like that. Takes set pieces. He's good at that. So to just put your blame on one player, booing your fans, I mean, that's just scum. You don't boo your players. I don't know why we've been resorting to stuff like that, but that's our fan base. I don't know if we've always been like. I remember when we booed Abue ages ago, and then he turned out to be a great player. So yeah, I think the fans owe Xhaka an apology, and the ones like that stupid idiot on AFTV, Troops or whatever. He's like, oh, Xhaka this, Xhaka that. You're probably made 5 accounts on Instagram, I bet, and are abusing Xhaka. Yeah, I can tell by his demeanour. AFTV is a joke. We're not with you, fam. We laugh against you. All other supporters of different teams. They watch AFTV and just laugh at you morons on there. The only level-headed guy is that lad. Forgot his name now, but he was basically saying Emery out. He wasn't blaming Xhaka, this and this. It's just a joke. So it's just collective frustration, really. I do feel bad for Xhaka. I hope that he can bounce back. He's a relatively decent player. He played for Gladbach. It was good there. I think he was in the team of the season. And it's not him. You're not these professional footballers. They get paid a lot of money. It's got nothing to do with that. You can't abuse a fellow human being like that at the end of the day. If it was a racism thing, then you'd be all over it. But because it's, something different, the guys are not on it. And I'm a black person too, so I can say that about racism. People pick up on it straight away, but it's, this man's had his personal life abused, his wife, his newborn daughter. I mean, what kind of person does that? So yeah, I do feel bad for him at the end of the day. I hope he can bounce back. I do want to see him in an Arsenal shirt again. For more so, I would say it's Emery. That's the problem. It's not the players. I've seen the players come from 2-0 down and give their all. It's nothing to do with that. There's something. We don't have a leader, number one. Emery tried to make Xhaka the leader, and it didn't really work. He's not really that type of player. He's probably well-liked person, but he's not that type of player. So I do feel bad for him, but I definitely want to see him back in an Arsenal shirt. So hopefully we can see that soon.
Right. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, I think I mostly agree with what Team Takake 1 actually just sort of said. I don't think everyone, I think, generally feels that what happened with Granit Xhaka in terms of his response to fans was wrong. The swearing and what have you, and obviously at the end of the day, these players obviously are paid quite a lot of money. A lot of fans, a lot of people will obviously, as they say, die to play for the badge. The only thing I would say about that's that when any time I hear someone that says, "Oh, we would die to play for the badge," is that yes, you would, but then if you started playing for it and all your fans turned on you and started abusing you, would you actually still have? Would you still feel the same way? You know, the very same fans. Would you still feel the same way? I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, it's an interesting one, and I'm interested to see what Emery will actually how Emery will actually change it. Sorry, on Saturday, will he decide, right? Okay, you know what? What we're going to do is we're going to decide to. Some of us eating in the background. Just you know what the noise is. Eating food. We're hungry. We're hungry, guys. We're hungry. So let them eat. It's fine. Yeah, I'm interested to see what Emery will actually do in the weekend. I think the big question is, especially having seen Ozil basically magically come back into the squad against Liverpool away. Yes, it's Carabao Cup, and there's no guarantee that Ozil will start. But I do think it's interesting the fact that Ozil has made a non-existent appearance for most of the season, even in the Europa League, and yet magically after this incident, Ozil now suddenly sort of appears. You know, I just find that very, very interesting. And basically, I think a lot of this, and I think this is why I agree with Arsenal fans, that a lot of this can actually be blamed on this guy, Unai Emery. It's I think the second week in a row we're speaking about Unai Emery, and ultimately Unai Emery was the man who made Xhaka captain, or at least he was the person that delegated the Arsenal players to actually make him, or they voted him as captain, which is an important thing, because a lot of people don't seem to appreciate the fact that Xhaka was obviously quite popular with the Arsenal players, and so I think it's very. I think it will tell on Sunday if Xhaka's not playing for the team, if Xhaka's not playing for Arsenal. If he was voted by the players, if that is what has happened, then anything that happens with Xhaka will definitely affect team morale, and that's something that people need to bear in mind. I've always said that if you're going to boo players, boo them after the game. You know, boo them, deal with it afterwards. During the game is not the time to do those things, because that will affect the players psychologically. And so you're not going to push, you're not going to go forward. That's the reality of it, you know. So, but ultimately, I think a lot of pressure actually comes onto this guy. Team Takage 1, what do you think?
Also, if you boo a player when he's getting subbed off, the rest of the players are going to be on edge. They're going to be like, oh, well, if I have a bad game, they're going to boo me. People like Mustafi are going to be like, oh, well, they're about to boo me. Such and such who hasn't been playing well, they're going to boo me as well. And players are going to be having to worry about other things instead of that. And it's just a joke.
This is the thing, you know. So it's, you know, it's easy, I think, for all of us to say, you know what Xhaka did was completely wrong, completely unjustified, and you forget about it. Sorry, but I think that it's important that we appreciate the fact that ultimately the decision to make Xhaka captain was Unai Emery. It was Unai Emery, and the decision to play him, because to be honest, I've seen Xhaka play in good games, and it's clear that Xhaka, it's almost like I'm just thinking about it, the Pogba playing as a holding midfielder. You know, it doesn't work. You know, like that's not his position. And playing Xhaka and Guendouzi together, you know, hasn't and doesn't continue to work. It doesn't. Frag LXRD, hi, good to see you in the chat. Are you an Arsenal fan? Are you a United fan? Let me know. But we're talking right now. We're talking about Unai Emery and we're talking about Arsenal fans and just what is basically going to happen this weekend, because Arsenal are playing Wolves at home. Now, Wolves just lost to Villa in the Carabao Cup, and I mean that doesn't really mean anything, to be honest, because they probably filled, you know, it might. I don't think it does, to be honest, because I think Wolves, they're in the Carabao Cup, they're in the Europa League. They probably don't want to be in any competition, so I wouldn't read too much into the fact that Wolves lost to Villa in the Carabao Cup. Team Takagi won. Go into it.
Well, there was a little dispute with Nuno Espirito, the Wolves manager, and one of his players. So Neto, a Wolves player, was in the box, and he was kind of on his way down. I don't think he was trying to dive. So he got taken off for diving, and there was a bit of a dispute, and kind of grabbed him and stuff like that. So post-match interview, he was saying, basically I had to sum up because my players don't dive, and he dived. So I don't know. Which is, I mean, fair play. I mean, I've seen a lot of top teams do dive. I've seen a few players do that.
I mean, you speak to what's his name, Sean Dyche, and their players do that. So and he just cusses other teams, So just Sean Dyche.
Interesting, isn't it?
But no, fair enough.
There is maybe that bit of tension going into the game.
Possibly, yeah. So, but Fraggle, I'm a United fan. Oh, thanks. Good to see you. Thank you for joining the podcast. Really appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. We'll be talking about United just as soon as we finish talking about Arsenal in a second, specifically regarding Rashford and where we see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. So please stay tuned. It's an engaging podcast, so ask us as many questions as you want, and we'll obviously address them. Me and Team Takagi won. So going back to Arsenal again, and with Unai Emery, and I was listening to Team Takagi because obviously Arsenal fan. Do you think that Unai Emery, should Unai Emery pick Xhaka as captain this weekend? What do you think he should do? Because now it's on Unai Emery now. Xhaka's now made his statement. Yes, it's not a full apology, but he's done his thing now, basically. So what should, now the eyes of Unai Emery, what should Unai Emery do? Can he do anything?
It's a tricky one. Because at the heart of it, nobody really wants Emery there anymore. If he picks Xhaka, I mean, I'm fine with it. But then is he going to pick Herrera? Is he going to pick a good team? Do you know what I mean? Honestly, I think if Xhaka, Herrera, and Ozil play, or Guendouzi, or a mix of that, kind of basically Herrera and Xhaka together. Ozil, if Ozil's there, I think he might diffuse a situation like that. I think he might play Ozil, and I think he might play Xhaka, and maybe like Aubameyang and Lacazette or something like that, to try and win people back, because it could be potential that Xhaka is seen warming up, and may start booing, and then he might not play him, something like that. But I think he might pick him. I didn't think he was going to be there anyway for the Carabao Cup.
Xhaka, yeah, I didn't. That's the thing. I think it's too much to read. I mean, you look at Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool basically changed their entire starting 11, effectively.
Like a youth team.
It was playing a youth team, and they still won, which shows the Klopp spirit. You could argue, So and that was a cracking game. I must say, 5-5. It was a brilliant game of football, and teams at it. The only thing I would say though is that the team that played against Liverpool was essentially Arsenal's Europa League team, and they lost to basically Liverpool's under 21s. So that's the only. It is just a Carabao Cup, but that is just the only sort of cause for concern for me. It's just that.
I was Emery again. I presume. I mean, it doesn't matter anyway. He's a professional footballer. They can play 90 minutes on a Wednesday and play 60 to 70 whatever on Saturday. You know what I mean? He took Ozil off, who was our best player by country mile. Herrera, our defensive midfield player, decides to take them off at 4-2, and look what happens. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
That's an Emery thing. That's not the players.
So this is where I think goes on to Frag. Is that Frad Lord or LXRD? I think it's out of Unai Emery's hands. You mean him being the manager or not? Because the thing is that I didn't know. Well, we'll come on to potentially Zuma going to get sacked or something in the later. But I just think that Emery, it's difficult because Emery doesn't have. Emery just reminds me that he's just very stubborn. I think very stubborn. And the reality is that unlike Arsene, Emery has been given money. He's signed at least, I'd say, good players. He's had good players, and he was given good players. Let's be honest. Yes, the team was on but he was given two of the best strikers in the Premier League in LEICESTER and Aubameyang. Okay, he got a decent keeper in Leno. Leno's a decent keeper. He's obviously been given this season. He's been given Ceballos on loan, who's solid. Tierney at left back, and he's got injuries coming back. You know, David Luiz. Okay, you could see what's going on. Socrates. Okay, fine. But he was given 70 million for Nicolas Pepe as well. So he's been backed. I'd say backed more so than even Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to be honest, as a United fan. For the situation with Granit Xhaka, I think it's in his hands now, if I'm honest, because Xhaka now has, if you just rewind back into the stream, Xhaka has actually made a statement. He just posted a statement on his Instagram an hour ago, essentially. I wouldn't say apologizing, but basically just kind of saying, I was this way because I didn't like the way that I was being treated by my fans. That's essentially the summary of what he was just like. I blew up. I was getting threats, and I blew up because I didn't like the way I was treated, and that's just what happened. And then people naturally, obviously, took offense to that because people seem to take offense when men actually show their feelings, despite saying the contrary, which I think is another argument for another video. But anyway, I just think now it is on Unai Emery because I presume he will protect Xhaka and keep him. He probably won't. He probably keep him out of the spotlight a bit and maybe bring it back. I don't know. There are a lot of Arsenal fans who don't want him to play for the club ever again. But I do think those Arsenal fans need to wake up and realise that Xhaka was a popular player, presumably in the Arsenal team. Like it comes to the reality that what do Arsenal fans want for the remainder of their season? Because this decision could potentially destabilise Arsenal for the upcoming season. And the reality is that even getting a new manager, because people just automatically think that getting a new manager will suddenly bring stability, will suddenly bring humility, will suddenly bring all these things. That's not necessarily the case. Team to go get one, or just is there anything to add to that, or So I'm interested. I'm interested to see what he will bring, who he will play, what will be the lineup. But I think we'll see. We'll see. So that's basically Xhaka and Unai Emery in a nutshell. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned, and we'll probably discuss Arsenal again. We seem to discuss Arsenal more so in Red Devils Studio than Manchester United. But that's certainly been the big story during this week. Right, so moving on. Just move on. So, Marcus Rashford, Ronaldo-esque, brilliant free kick, and this is we're talking about Marcus Rashford, but we're also talking about Manchester United as a whole. Obviously, as I've said in my previews and in my post-match reactions, I still think our performances are not the best, but I do think that we're building up some momentum, and the finish. Marcus Rashford is the set pieces for the vast majority of I can remember have been poor. Free kicks. His penalty conversion ratio was not ideal, though he did score a penalty obviously against Chelsea. And yet, in this game, it almost seemed to work out for him. He scored a penalty, and he scored a free kick. The two things that he seems to have struggled with as of recently. And do you think, and I ask this to you, Nkake, do you think that United obviously drew at Liverpool at Anfield, the only team so far to actually take points off Liverpool this season? So not Anfield, at Old Trafford, sorry. They obviously beat Partizan, they beat Norwich, and now they beat Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. Is there essentially is there some momentum building at Manchester United? What do you think is going on with Bournemouth away this weekend?
Obviously you're in. Where are you in the league now?
So we're 7th now.
Yeah. So I honestly think, like, when Arsenal started the season, we weren't playing well, but like, I thought it would be almost like a period of we're not going to be playing well, but we're going to pick up and then we're going to start to be more consistent. United started, obviously they beat Chelsea, and then after that kind of took a dip. And then I was thinking Man United they're not going to get better. But obviously you play up to competition, so you take points from Liverpool. You take points from the top 6 teams, basically. That's the Man United thing. You kind of like don't lose to the top 6. You'll pick up points. So you're definitely going to beat Arsenal when we go to Old Trafford. So...
Well, you've already been to Old Trafford.
We did. Yes, so you picked up points there, what I mean? Probably should have won that game.
But should have won that game.
Yeah, it's... United, I think they've got a bit of momentum now. I still think Rashford's playing too much. He's playing every single game. Anytime I see him subbed off, he looks like he's limping or like something,
Yeah.
But he's... obviously Ollie's put his faith in him to be the main man. Like, I mean, people are saying, imagine if Rashford was having a season like Tammy Abraham's having, then everyone would be like, oh, Ollie's this, right? So Lampard, obviously, they had the transfer ban and he's put his faith in Tammy Abraham. But I would say arguably the difference is you've got Batshuayi, who is like very good, who can compete with Tammy. Obviously, he scored it against Man United.
Yeah,
you've got a good extra number 9 there, and then Giroud, experienced. You know what I mean? So it's kind of competition.
Yeah.
Whereas Rashford only has Mason Greenwood, who, he's on the fringes, who is good, but do you know what I mean? Rashford's been there for a while, so there's competition there, which there's not competition there, which Rashford probably thinks, oh well, I can be the main man. So it's like more pressure in a sense, which isn't good. But Lingard actually played well. So it's good to see him. He's been getting a lot of abuse from everybody. It's such and such. Their own fans, that kind of thing. So if I'm honest, like I'm not one of those people. If someone's been playing bad and they start playing good, I'm happy for them. It doesn't matter which. You know what I mean? We're all humans at the end of the day. Same thing with Xhaka. Like I've not really been one for seeing him be a player as a CDM, but I said I'm all playing Xhaka once he's next to Torreira and such. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think Man United, they've got who have you got coming up?
So we have Bournemouth away, then Brighton at home, then Sheffield United.
Yeah, so those ones, like you'd think on paper we could have a go at that, but like they've been struggling against these teams.
Yeah, so this is the difficulty. It'll be Bournemouth away, Manchester, obviously Partizan, obviously at home, then Brighton at home, and then Sheffield United away, which is going to be very tough.
So if you get 6 points out of a possible 9 from that, even if you lose one or draw, maybe get 7 points, then you're probably looking at being above Arsenal in the current form. Arsenal have lost.
Looking at Arsenal's fixtures, Arsenal Wolves at home, then obviously Victoria away, then Leicester away, then Southampton at home.
I mean, all of those are hard fixtures in the sense that anyone's probably looking at Arsenal thinking, we can have a go at them. Look at what's going on at the club. We can have a go at them. We can do this. We can do that. We just let 5 in against the Liverpool youth team.
Frag LXRD, what a beauty. Yeah, it was a very good free kick. It was
probably the best free kick I've ever seen.
It was just brilliant. It really, really was brilliant. Brilliant. And then I think Greenwood should have more chances. To be honest, I just think that if Martial's fit, and I think with the way that we are, I just don't see, I think unfortunately Frank Lampard is a lot better with youth than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is, or the house believe. I think for me, the best thing for Mason Greenwood is for Greenwood to go out on loan. That for me is the best thing for him to do. For Greenwood, for Chong, for Gomez, because they're not getting games, and the reality is that like Twansea went on loan last season and became a better centre back. They need games to get better, and they're not going to get games by playing in the last 5 minutes of already won games. So he needs to go out on loan, ideally maybe from January. If we sign a forward, which I'm hoping is Erling Haaland, in January, then I would suggest that Greenwood go out on loan on January and get some more game time. Same with Chong, same with Gomez. There's transfer confirmation about us bidding 14 for Ivan Rakitic in January. I actually posted a video on my channel about 2 weeks ago talking about Ivan Rakitic and us going for him. I will quickly... Is that recent? Is that now? Is that... I mean, all I'm getting really is Atletico Madrid want to sign Ivan Rakitic. I know we're one of the teams that are in for him, but I did post a video 2 weeks ago talking about open talks and stuff. And yeah, let me know how you found this channel. Was it through transfer news and what have you? So was that how you came across Red Devil Studio? Because we do post obviously a lot of transfer news. So let me know what brought you to this channel, what you want to add to this channel. Anyway, going back to the video at hand. So what do you think? So, and I guess that's just pointing to me. Like, do you think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can turn this around?
Kind of just talked about that. I think the thing is, the people who are in the top four don't. Obviously, I know you lost in the Carabao Cup just there. Chelsea did, sorry. But like in the league, the top four look really, really sharp in terms of they're going to score against you, unless you just set up to defend against them. And who's going to, in their right mind, who's going to be thinking, oh, I'm going to put 10 men behind the ball against Chelsea and Leicester?
The only thing I'd say is that for all the top four, we haven't played City yet, but for the top four, count of what we played, we haven't actually lost to any of them.
Yeah, but you haven't won.
Yeah, we beat Chelsea, we beat Leicester.
You beat Chelsea in the Carabao Cup.
No, we beat Chelsea 4-0 at the start of the season.
Yeah, but that.
And then we beat Leicester 1-0.
Yeah, but.
And then we drew against Liverpool at Anfield.
Yeah, you take points off them.
Yeah.
But look where they are. It's consistency.
Yeah, exactly. It's the reality is that the top four teams. The issue with United is that we're almost now like the old school Liverpool in a way, where you take points off the top 7 teams, but then when you play the smaller teams, you make mistakes, you drop points, you can't break teams down, and that's the problem with United right now. I came across the channel from you playing PES 2020. Thank you very much. We're actually going to be resuming PES, PES or FIFA at some point. We finished the first season of PES, and you can check the videos in the playlist. I will probably be doing a FIFA career mode, or we're going to do a PES season 2. Let me know what you should prefer: PES season 2 or FIFA career mode. Fraglex, our last away win was against PSG. Yeah, because we won against Norwich, so that was a away one. Well, okay, we won against Norwich, and we did go away and win against Partizan. So those would have been our. So we basically had 2 away wins in this week. But before that, I think you're right. It probably was against PSG, which is actually quite bad. But yeah, I think you're right. Team Takagi won, and we'll just see what happens with United. Basically, check out our preview for Manchester United versus Bournemouth. Just on the channel, take a look at that. A link will be in the description as well. Right, moving on. We're quickly going to talk about these guys. Southampton. Now, I don't know what happened. I really, really, really don't know what happened to this team last Friday. Yes, I know I think it was Bertrand got sent off, and to be honest, he deserved to get sent off. I saw the challenge, it's an automatic red card. He could have no complaints. But to capitulate the way they did, to concede 9 at home, I don't know. I was speechless. I really was. Some of the goals were really good. They were really good, but I was speechless, to be honest. It was. I think it was it holds the record now for the biggest away team win in the Premier League. I think it's not the biggest Premier League win, I think, or historical win, but it's certainly the biggest win for an away team. Because that doesn't happen. You don't ship 9 goals in home. You know, even City's battering at Watford was at least at the Etihad. I think it was. Was it 9? Is it 8-2?
So, yeah.
8-2, but at least that was at the Etihad. This is at Southampton, and I don't know. I just think that I definitely think I haven't seen it yet, but FIFA career mode. Yep, okay, we'll get on to FIFA career mode then. I don't know. I definitely think that certainly, if it hasn't already, that the Southampton board need to refund the tickets for that game for all the people that went. And funny enough, not beating a sick of a dead horse, but you don't hear, and I could be wrong, and I'm interested to see any Southampton fans, the comments or future listen to, but I don't hear of any specific targeted horrific abuse to these Southampton players. Arsenal drew at home. Arsenal still 5th and drew at home to Crystal Palace. Southampton shipped 9 goals. Okay, and yes, they were booed, rightfully so, to be honest. But there were fans that were still there. I bet it was getting emptier. And I don't think you got the same visceral that Xhaka got. So it's an interesting parallel because it's kind of like, you know, like I said, I could be wrong. Maybe it's just not reported by the media. I don't know. But I would have expected that if it was that bad, that you'd have seen Southampton players getting horrible stuff on social media and Devit, all the rest of it, that this would have come up, certainly for something like this. But it hasn't. Yet this issue we had with Granit Xhaka. So if all players to get it, you'd expect it to be Southampton. My point ultimately is just that, this is the bottling team in Southampton. And to be honest, right now, in combination with Norwich and probably Watford, right now I think the 3 teams that in form are going to go down are Southampton, Norwich and Watford.
Yeah.
They seem like the teams that are, that just can't seem to do it.
Yeah.
What do you think about that team Skake one?
Yeah, unless I mean, Norwich started very well. Obviously, Timo Pukki is still up there in the. I think he's also got 6 goals.
Yeah, but he hasn't scored. I can't remember last time he scored.
The last time he scored was against City, I think.
Fraglex, it wasn't against Leicester. It was against Leicester as well. It was, even more so. The fact that it was against Leicester at home that they got battered. Go on.
I mean, you look at Leicester's goal difference now. That's an extra point at the end of the season. That is,
yeah,
having that goal difference now.
Yeah.
So that's good. And Leicester don't really concede too much.
Yeah,
I think I was. I mean, you don't see 9-0 unless it's San Marino.
I mean, Leicester's goal difference is now plus 17 basically.
Yeah,
so it's just under City because obviously City also put a few through, so
I think
they have the highest goal difference.
You're just waiting to play Southampton and Watford now, or yeah. So they're just. I think that's the same for me. Those who are going to get relegated, unless like Norwich look so good because they just look like they were really good on the counter attack. They didn't really. They looked like they were going to concede goals, but you know they were going to score. So that's probably my bottom 3 as well.
I think the issue is just that they just can't defend. This is the problem. Like they create a lot of space and they just cannot defend. This is the big problem with Norwich, unfortunately. So in Southampton, the same. Like I mean, it was just awful defending the whole game. Oh my God, it was just so bad. I mean, if you had Ben Chilwell, Perez, and Vardy in your fantasy football team, you were making it rain. It was that sort of. Thankfully, I had Vardy in my side. And people captain him, so but my goodness, it was just they're playing. I think Leicester are playing. Who are they playing? Is it Villa? Is it? I can't remember. I've got the. We'll preview the Premier League. We'll preview them. We'll preview them in next. But yeah, I just. Do you think that it's time for the Southampton coach to go?
Yeah, every other season, don't they?
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
Yeah.
You never know, because watch Southampton go and beat in Arsenal or something, and they'll be fine. So it just depends how long you want to wait, really. Up to the players too, not just the manager. But yeah.
And what about Watford and Norwich?
Watford are going down. Watford, they just.
So I mean, they obviously sacked. They already sacked. They already sacked their managers. They sacked the manager. Was it 6 games into the season?
Give it to Steven Gerrard.
Give it to Steven Gerrard. Yeah, no, I think that yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. But yeah, if they haven't done it already, these bottle job bricklayers need to refund their fans. But I think that Arsenal fans need to take some notes from Southampton, because if there's any team that deserve to boo outright, at the end of the day, I don't know. It's weird because, and I not stop bringing Arsenal back into this, but yes, they bossed a 2-0 lead, but they didn't lose. It was still a draw, still a point, and they are still 5th. I mean, looking at the table right now, Arsenal are okay. Yeah, they're 4 points off Chelsea, but that's not insurmountable. Especially because have Arsenal played Chelsea yet? No. You beat Chelsea at the Emirates. You've taken off 3 points. You're now a point behind. You beat them there. So, and you anticipate that Chelsea will drop points against like the City and Liverpool. So this is the thing. But yeah, it just boggles the mind. It really, really just boggles the mind. Right. So we're just continuing. We're just coming to the end. Almost to the end of the stream. So we're now going to just preview the upcoming fixtures of Match Day, Game Week 11, and then give our fantasy football picks, and then we're good. So obviously the first match Saturday at 12:30 is Bournemouth versus Manchester United. I've already done a bit of a 12-minute preview, posted a video earlier today, but I suspect that Manchester United will set up with 2 holding midfielders away from home, or vary between that and a 4-3-3. We seem to have a consistent midfield in Fred, Pereira and McTominay now. And Martial is back. And last season we did go away to Bournemouth and beat them 2-1. We got the goal in the last minute. I think it was Marcus Rashford that got it. So Marcus Rashford being back. And now someone like Daniel James, who can give us a bit more of a creative spark, as well as having a semi-solid defence, we should be able to hold out tight. I would like Brandon Williams to start because I do feel that we're still vulnerable and left us Ashley Young. Wan-Bissaka will also give us good defensive stability as well. I still think we'll concede though, and so like I said, I think it'll follow the same scoreline as last season with 2-1 with Marcus Rashford and Martial to score. Team to Takage 1. What about West Ham versus Newcastle? West Ham are at home.
West Ham, I think, are in the top half of the table, aren't they?
West Ham are, looking at this, West Ham are 10th.
Yeah. So,
13 points.
Newcastle are picking up weird points everywhere. They've only had, they got 2 kind of batterings this season. One against Newcastle. I think one against Liverpool.
What do you mean? They got a battering against Newcastle? Do you mean who?
Liverpool. Newcastle.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So they're defensively they're okay. It's just where the goals are coming up front. I've watched Newcastle play a lot this season, and man, they struggle up front. I have a friend, a Newcastle friend, and he hates Joe Linton. He's like, how the heck did we sign him for 40 million here? Don't know how he was worth 40 million. He's not bad, but you need someone next to him. So I'll probably go West Ham with that one. I'll give West Ham 3-1 because Newcastle have struggled. They need to sign someone in January or get an academy player or something because they're struggling for strikers. Don't know why they sold Amiobi, to be honest. He's doing well at Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. So, but
scorers.
Yeah.
I'll go with Haller. I'll go with penalty for Mark Noble, and I'll go with Yarmolenko and Jamal Lascelles together.
Fair enough. Okay. Next for me will be Aston Villa versus Liverpool. To be honest, Liverpool's defense Liverpool's defence has not been as solid this time around. It really hasn't. I don't know whether Matip will be back, but I think
difference. Let's be honest.
But it literally Van Dijk has been there, and Van Dijk has been, and it's so. I think you're right. Matip has not been there. Lovren coming in, I think, caused a few problems. I still think Liverpool should win this game, but I don't think it'll be as easy as people think. Villa are also building a bit of momentum as well.
They
beat Wolves, obviously, and right now Aston Villa, I think, they're 15th. They've got 11 points from 10. They're not doing too badly. So it's not going to be easy, I don't think.
It'll probably be the same as what City did to them.
They lost to City 3-0, but to be honest, they held out for at least the first half. They obviously beat Brighton. And they went to Norwich and battered them, So the point I'm trying to make is that it's not going to be an easy game, but I suspect that Liverpool will still overall win the game. I'm going to give it a 3-1 to Liverpool.
Liverpool don't keep clean sheets.
Liverpool don't keep clean sheet these days, unfortunately. I'd recommend taking Liverpool defenders, specifically Van Dijk, out of your fantasy football team. We'll get into that later. Mane, I think, will score. If you'd like to see Ox start, so I think if Ox starts, I think he'll score because he gives Liverpool that edge where they can score from outside the box. And then Salah, obviously, as well. And Villa, probably that McGinn guy or Grealish. I'm going to go with the McGinn guy, I think, 3-1. Now, next game, and this is the one for Team Takake 1, Arsenal versus Wolves at 3 o'clock. Arsenal versus Wolves at 3 o'clock. Arsenal at home. Team Takage 1, what do you think is going to happen?
I'd almost prefer if this game was away for some reason, just because of all the tension. I'd almost prefer it to be away because I don't want to see people being booed. There's a lot of tension going on right now, and it's probably affecting the players a lot.
Oh, sorry, Giro Dogma. Hey, Red. Thanks for joining the stream. We're almost coming towards the end, but post your Premier League Game Week 11 predictions in the chat, and we'll certainly read those out and get engaged. And if you have any questions about any of the topics, please let us know as well, and we'll address them.
This is a must-win game for Arsenal in terms of just everything that's gone on recently. The fans owe it to the players to absolutely not stop singing for 90 minutes and praising and getting behind them. That'll lift the players, give them confidence. I would like to see Xhaka start, or maybe on the bench at least. At least on the bench, I think. But I think it's wishful thinking, but it's a must-win game. So I think we have to win it just by. Do you know what I mean?
So the question, I guess the question is: do you think you will win it? Is the question? Do you think you will? Wolves.
You've got to think so. You just have to.
Wolves traditionally.
Wolves are brilliant.
Wolves traditionally, for whatever reason, they seem to take points off the bigger teams. And last season, they took 4 points off Arsenal, beating them, I think, away and drawing at the Emirates. Do you think that? And of course, they did go to Manchester City and beat them as well somehow. Although Chelsea did, of course, beat Wolves.
I think it's going to be a scrap. But I think we're going to just edge it. I don't know what the score. I think it's going to be like a 3-2 or something. I just have a feeling. I'll go with Aubameyang. I'll go with Socrates, and I'll go with Pepe.
Fine. And
I'll go with Jimenez and Cutrone. 3-2.
Fine.
Arsenal win.
3-2 Arsenal win. Giro Dobgner says Arsenal draw 2-2. Let me know who you think is going to score. Have you already done the other leagues? This week, actually, no. We just because there's not many of us, and it's going to be a bit of a shorter podcast. We just decided that we'll just focus on the Premier League for this podcast, predominantly because essentially the whole Xhaka and Emery thing that seems to have taken up the news, and so we thought we'd focus a lot more on that situation and really going through and talking about the different leagues. But from next week, we'll go back to talking about the different leagues, so I think that's what we're going to do. Annery92 says Arsenal are poor and will lose. Fair enough. Straight to the point. Emery 92. What 3-1 towards Emery? Are you an Arsenal fan or you United fan? If you're United, if whichever, please like, share, and subscribe to Red Devils. We appreciate it, and let me know how you got to this channel. Raul, Double, and Yotta 3-1 to Wolves. Fair enough. Fair enough. Nicholas Pepe first goal and they play Wolves. I mean, he has obviously, Jerry, he has scored against who, was it Victoria? Victoria and Villa. So he has scored the goals, but obviously it will depend on. I'm a United fan, as expected. Team Takagi one. Do you have anything to say to that? Do you think that score is reasonable?
It's reasonable, absolutely. Absolutely reasonable.
So, no. Through my boy SP. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for if you subscribe. Appreciate subscribe. We'll be doing obviously catch the preview for Bournemouth for United, and we'll be also doing post match reaction sometime after the game. We also do some game streams with Pez and FIFA as well as part of the channel, amongst other things. But anyway, so yeah, Arsenal. We will see. So Team Takage says 3-2. Emery 92 says 3-1 to Wolves, and each could be a possibility. Almost good predictions. Sheffield United at home to Burnley FC. I think that's just going to be an incredibly boring game. An incredibly boring game. But I don't think it will be 0-0. I think it will probably be 1-1. I anticipate it will be 1-1. Those teams will with a Chris Wood goal, and I think that guy, is it Mature that plays for Sheffield United? I can't remember. Mature or something like that, who's been scoring a few of their goals. So one apiece, I think, in that respect. Just look at some of these comments. Man, everyone's now coming and commentating now. But thank you guys. Wolves will hit you. So going back to the Arsenal thing, Wolves will hit you on the break and will press and allow Arsenal to have the ball. I hope Arsenal turn it around for the fans. They deserve better. Okay, fair enough. Girodogma 3-0 to United. Fair enough. I don't think we're going to keep a clean sheet though. But we'll see, because I think Callum Wilson and Fraser can team up. Who knows? The Blades play good against teams on their level. Yes, that's it. Thank you, Amru 92. Liz Mousset, that's it. Yes, Mousset, that's it. Yeah, the Blades they do play at their level. I think they do, but even against teams that are not against their level, I still think Sheffield United still play quite well, in my opinion. And they beat Arsenal, obviously. Although is that saying that Arsenal, Sheffield United's level? We don't know. So moving on to further predictions. Brighton at home to Norwich. Team Takage 1. Brighton. Yeah. There's it's
could be a battering.
Yeah. What do you think the score will be?
Maybe 4-0.
4-0 to Brighton.
At least
4-0 to Brighton. Well, I've got Dunk in my defence, so he'll be there. And then, just a few more comments here. Thanks again, guys. Everyone's watching. Pulisic goal against Watford. Will we talk about Chelsea? We'll come and talk about Chelsea in a second. Brighton will win 4-0. I have a feeling as well. Look at what they did to Chelsea away. Fair enough. Yes, Sheffield United, they did draw to Chelsea away from home. Fair enough. I'm just thinking about that, actually. Sheffield United, actually, to be honest, they came out to draw with Chelsea Stamford Bridge. They beat Arsenal at home. And to be honest, they were so unlucky not to take points of Liverpool. It was just that goalkeeping error. Aside from that, they probably would have drawn with Liverpool. So fair play to them. I think you're right. You're absolutely right. And Amri Pukki is finished. Unfortunately. Right, so 4-0 to Brighton. Fair enough. Manchester City versus Southampton. Manchester City versus Southampton. I think...
Get City players and you've seen them.
Well, the thing is that, funny enough, Manchester City played Southampton in the Carabao Cup and beat them 3-1. I would, yeah. It'll be a testament to Southampton's character how they will come up to this. I think they will still lose, but they should at least fight. I don't think this is going to be a battering unless Southampton lose another player to a red card. And on top of that, I still think that City's defence is shakeable, and they did concede in the Carabao Cup. I'm going to go with 4-1 to City, however, probably with Raheem Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne, Gabriel Jesus, and probably Sterling again for the goal. And I think a Jamie Ward-Prowse free kick or any set piece from Jamie Ward-Prowse will get Southampton their goal as well. Team Takagi 1, Watford versus Chelsea, coming on to that.
Yeah, Chelsea.
Chelsea are away. So Watford at home, Chelsea away.
It's a derby, so it'll be a bit fiery for the first such and such, but Chelsea will win that. Might concede, but I think they'll win that comfortably.
Fair enough. We can some Emery to look at what they did to Chelsea. Yeah, okay. We covered the one against Liverpool. Captain Sterling 5-0. I think I'm probably going to captain Sterling as well. City smashed Southampton 9-0. Nah, I think that was a freak of nature. Like they could do it. I would probably recommend putting City players in your squad. I think they could do it, but I would be very surprised if they did, to be honest. But 4-0, I think that's it's probably reasonable at the Etihad. Who knows? Emery 92 Chelsea do well away, plus Watford 8-0 derby. They're hardly London. Well, that's true, but I mean, I saw Watford play against Arsenal, and that was interesting. Watford could have easily won that game. They certainly stepped it up in that respect. I do think, as you said, Chelsea. What was your score prediction, Team Takagi 1?
3-0.
3-0. Who to score?
Tammy with a brace. I'll give Mason Mount 1.
Okay. Crystal Palace versus Leicester City. Leicester City, I think, will just... I think just, but not by a certain margin. Crystal Palace have actually been quite solid themselves. Fair play to Roy Hodgson, actually, who's stabilised the ship a bit after a bumpy start. And Crystal Palace, people forget, Crystal Palace are sixth. They're like a point... and I don't know how... I don't know. Crystal Palace are ahead of Manchester United, so they've got 15 points somehow. I don't know how, but somehow they do.
Playing well this season.
He has been. So they're only a point behind Arsenal, and if Crystal Palace were to win against Leicester, and obviously Arsenal to lose, they would jump up ahead of Arsenal and jump into fifth. But fair play to Roy Hodgson. I've said I think that he's a good coach. He's going to play, and the football, generally speaking, is actually decent to watch. Give or take. So you know what? I'm going to go for a draw. Actually, Andre Ayew and then Jamie Vardy to score the equivalent goals. I think 1-1. And lastly, Tottenham versus Everton, Team Takagi.
Both teams struggling. This could be a draw. Both teams are really, really struggling. Spurs are at home, aren't they?
No, they are away.
I think it's going to end up as a draw. Maybe I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw.
Spurs are 11th and have 12 points from 10 games.
Bad, isn't it?
Although United are 7th and have 13 points from 10 games. So there's only really from 15th to 7th, there's a difference of 2 points.
Crazy.
2 points. 7th to 15th, there's literally a difference of... And from 16th to 7th, there's a difference of 3 points. So a single win this weekend. Newcastle even from 17th, just outside the relegation zone, to 7th is a difference of 4 points. And then the relegation, 5 points from something. So it is literally just it shows the I would argue the poor quality of the Premier League this season, to be honest. Just before we go, just reading some of your comments. Let's have a quick look. Emery 90 with the Chelsea. Abraham to bag 2, Pulisic to get 1. Fair enough. West Ham fans don't claim Watford to be their rivals. That is true. 2-4 to Leicester FC, so Leicester City to win. Fair enough. I think that's bold. I'd be surprised if Crystal Palace shipped 4 goals at home against Leicester. I really would. Vardy to bag hat-trick and hit them on the break. Vardy to grab €2 to score minus to settle. Fine. Everton 1, Spurs 1. Similar to what Team Takagi once said. There's reasonable Ndebele and Richarlison. And then Newcastle to win if they drop Almiron and play Atsu. Fair enough. Spurs are crap and Everton are crap at home and away. I said this, so I didn't swear on the thing, but they're both bad. That's why I have to say I think it's probably going to be a draw. But we'll see. If Spurs have an opportunity to come back, they will. It's just that what's his name is quite stubborn, unfortunately. Right, and then just quickly before as we come to the end of the stream. Sorry. There we go. Fantasy Premier League. So we're just going to give two, because we usually give 2 picks each of who you should put in your Fantasy Premier League for the upcoming weekend. Team Takagi, who do you think should come in or must pick for fantasy football? Sterling. Sterling and who?
Oh, it's the second pick.
Yeah, so 2 picks, because there's usually just more of us. So 2 picks, yeah.
Is one like the cheaper option, or is one?
Just any. Who's a must pick? De Bruyne. Yeah. Okay, so Sterling and De Bruyne must. I'm going to pick the ones. I'll say the ones that I would probably put. If you want a defender, a cheap defender, put Brighton Dunk in your defense. I think Brighton are going to be fairly safe at home against Norwich. And then I'm just trying to think. Who would be my second pick? Let's just think. Who would be my second pick, actually? I'm probably going to go Perez, actually. Perez is still relatively cheap and affordable. And it's quite possible that with the buzz, Leicester City might go on. So I think that Perez of Leicester City and Dunk are 2 players that are cheap but unpredictable and might give you good bonus points if you pick ahead of them. Just reading the last couple of comments before we end the stream, and there's 6 people watching. Guys, you're too late. You should have come at the start. You're too late. Everton underachieving when they click. It's post Xmas. Whether Marco Silva will be there remains to be seen. Martial is a must pick. Fair enough. I hope Arsenal play like Merde. Merde. I don't know who that is. Merde. Merde. I can't remember who that team is. It might be a Norwegian team. Can't remember.
I think that's a swear word still.
Oh right, okay. Amri 92. Lodstrom is cheap and is a CDM centre back or John Fleck from the Blades. Fair enough. I think that's good. I think I have Lordstrom as a centre back as well. I think that is actually a good shout. And for me, Dan James, even so, he's underrated. I think that's fair enough. Fair enough. Right. Thank you to everyone. Oh right, yeah, it's a swear word. Amri 19. Murder shit in French. Thank you very much. And with that, thank you very much for listening in, guys. And please, if you're new to the channel, please like, share, and subscribe.
Great up, everybody.
To Red Devil Studio. Thank you so much for Amory, Jira, and obviously early in the chat with a Frag LXRD who really took part in chat. Really appreciate it, and you guys, and love to have you back. We will hope we're doing these weekly. Or probably will get a brief FIFA career mode live stream going sometime after this potentially. So stay tuned for that. Have a nice evening, guys. Thank you all, and cheers.